Hey, y'all, look at this.
I would say if Charlie Kirk lived in the biblical times, he'd have been the 13th disciple. He'd have been the 13th disciple.
Motherfucker, what? These motherfuckers crazy. Talking about Charlie Kirk would have been the 13th disciple. Man, if Charlie Kirk would have been living during the biblical times, he'd have told Jesus to take his ass back home somewhere. He'd have been like, why you trying to feed all them people with that fish and goddamn bread? That ain't what we doing. He would have been like, you sure you ain't no DEI hire? The 13th disciple. Boy, y'all crazy. That motherfucker got a 12th grade education, and he tricked all y'all motherfuckers. I always thought he was coming from a place of maybe intellect. Maybe he did some research or some shit, and you know, he could follow the numbers. Man, that motherfucker got a 12th grade education. He was just spewing shit. And these motherfuckers over here crying, talking about he would have been the 13th disciple. Boy, you might have signed your ticket to hell for that one. You mean to tell me it's a household full of motherfuckers that believe that shit? Like he was Christ-like? Y'all motherfuckers crazy. Meanwhile, Trump over there getting the ballroom together.
Condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beautiful...
So everyone knows that these text messages are insanely fake, right? No one refers to their car as a vehicle unless you're in law enforcement. Nobody says squad car. You would just say, oh my God, I just saw a cop. And why would Robinson be telling his roommate, who he's supposedly in a relationship, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA? The person you're in a relationship would already know that. No 22-year-old refers to their parent as my old man. Nobody would say, I worry about Prince. I don't know if it had a serial number. And he writes out very clearly a timeline. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits, didn't have the time to bring it with me. I might have to abandon it. I left the rifle wrapped in a towel. Nobody would write step by step. And when he talks about the engravings, he says, mostly a big meme. Young people don't talk like that. Elon Musk talks like that when he's trying to be funny. And he's like, I am become meme. This is so obviously Gen X law enforcement trying to create a narrative. You gotta read these texts for yourself because nobody talks like this. Nobody texts like this, and no young person uses the words vehicle, drop point. He talks about the other suspect that they grabbed some crazy old dude in similar clothing, interrogated someone. How would he even know that? He's like stopping to look at the news at who they're grabbing. Why would he bother with all of those details? He would just be like, oh my God, they grabbed someone else. Like when you're close with someone and you're texting, you don't write out all of your thoughts like that. You definitely don't write in paragraphs, complete sentences. This is just way too convenient.
Hello and welcome to another video. In this video we're gonna be talking about, yes, Charlie Kirk. More details keep coming out about his death, and we're gonna be just looking at these new details that just come out. And also we're gonna be talking about Jimmy Kimmel. Okay, his show, his program, his late night show have been closed by DT. And we're gonna see how these two things are totally related. Yes, they are related. So stay towards the end because I prepared you a really good video.
I told you. Candace Owens is not playing about this situation. She literally said she knows exactly who's been putting pressure on Charlie Kirk before his unaliving. She looked in the camera. Matter of fact, it's caught on video. I told y'all, Candace Owens is not playing around. She said she'll release text messages. She'll release all the information out. And she said before they keep pushing this narrative, she would not allow the people who was putting all that pressure on Charlie Kirk, who possibly did this to him, to try to push their narrative and get into his seat. That woman said over her dead body, would she allow that to happen with Charlie Kirk? And then she said, it can be arranged. Oh, y'all think Candace Owens playing? I'ma say it again. I told y'all she not gonna let this one slide. Y'all done gave this woman another purpose. Y'all done gave this woman a mission. And just like I said the other day, she is not gonna let this go. Matter of fact, watch this right here.
Kings are born. You don't just get to depose and tell us that we're gonna follow this individual, okay? I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA. You put a shill in Charlie Kirk's chair, in Charlie Kirk's company, and you try to tell us to follow that individual, I will be an enemy of you. There will be nothing that can stop me, okay? And I want you guys to understand, this is not a threat, this is a promise. There will be nothing that can stop me. I will release every single text message. So to those of you who are trying that, I'm seeing the messages, I am telling you to back off right now. Like right now, don't do it, okay? Don't you think about it. I know exactly who you are. I know exactly who you were that were exerting pressure. Don't you pretend to be noble now and say nice things about Charlie Kirk and think you're gonna slide into his chair, okay? Over my dead body, which I'm sure can be arranged.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Candace Owens needs to be protected. She is gonna need some real protection. Because what she knows, I'm 100% sure they don't want to get out. My prayers go out to Candace Owens because the fight that she's about to unleash on these people, you can see it in her eyes. She is not letting go. I mean, y'all heard it for yourself. Tell me what y'all think.
They have now removed the grass where the Charlie Kirk shooting took place and are now laying down pavers. I am now even more confused. There was grass there before. Why remove the grass? Here's another view of them doing that. This is absolutely the spot where it took place. Another creator on here actually posted the full video showing everything. You can see the flowers over here for the memorial of Charlie. He showed a glimpse of where they're saying the shooter was up here on the roof. I just don't understand it. What is the point of doing this? And a lot of people are talking about the little trap door here. So what my understanding, what I've gathered is that they do like plays and stuff here, and that's the little door for like electrical stuff down there. Not sure how true that is. That's just what I've been reading. Or even for like the stunts of the play, or so people can go down there. Whatever. I don't know. Those are the things I've read. Would anyone be able to explain what the point of putting the pavers down would be and just completely removing the grass? What are y'all's thoughts on that?
And this is kind of surprising. So the place where he passed, where the place that was the shooting, they decided to suddenly take the grass that was there and just build something else. It's like they are trying to hide details of his passing. They're trying to erase the crime scene, and it's just surprising because when a crime like that get committed, they try to keep the crime scene as it is for the longest amount of time, because sometimes the detectives or the investigators, they come back to the scene of the crime and they also look for more proof, for more evidence. But it seems like just like that. And that was just yesterday. They started to take off the grass and put pavements in where he was killed. This is just this case are becoming weirder and weirder by the day, and it's just so incredible what they are just doing. All the details that just keep come out, all the details about Israel, how Israel invited all these political influencers, and he paid for all these political influencers to come to Israel, okay? And they wanted also to pay for him to come, because Israel is big influencing MAGA, for they can finance their budget to completely exterminating people in Gaza. And yes, and they want to influence all these influencers from the MAGA, for they can for they can influence people, for we can have the open money towards Israel. Also, another thing, I'm gonna start talking about Jimmy Kimmel, but one of the things that these two cases are related. Even when you don't think about it, that is related, it is related, and I will explain you later.
Oh my God! Oh, buddy! You're gonna get expelled, dude.
So, y'all, I think I figured it out. I think I figured out how to avoid the Charlie Kirk conversation. Like, how to avoid the rhetoric, all of the above. I had a woman yesterday come up to me, and I was in Starbucks, and she was just talking. We were having a casual conversation, and she brought up Charlie Kirk. So I immediately said, who? Like really dumbfounded, like, who? And she said, Charlie Kirk. And I said, I don't know who that is. And she started speaking, and she was like, it's been all over the news. I said, I don't watch the news. I don't really know anything about a Charlie Kirk. And I said, should I know him? Is he known for something? And she started to spill into him being unalived and stuff like that. I said, oh, that sucks. I said, but no, I don't know who that is. And she was like, oh, yeah, he's just like this big time Christian and this. And I said, oh, so he's like a pastor. And she was like, no, he's not a pastor. He just, he had conversations and debates with people. I said, is that what he's known for? And she's like, no, he's known for just being a Christian and having he's got a good guy. I said, so he's like my pastor. And she's like, no, he's better than that. I said, he's better than the pastor? Like, I had her going down a whole rabbit hole. She couldn't even explain anything about Charlie Kirk. However, you want me to empathize. Okay, ma'am, go away.
Charlie Kirk Day on October 14th, 2025. Do you know, before I even did the math, I knew what it was going to add up to? Can you guess it? I bet you can guess it. If you've seen my videos, you can guess it. Let's do the math together. 10 plus 14 is 24. Plus 2, 26. Plus 2, 28. Plus 5, 33. Would you imagine that? What an amazing coincidence that out of all the days and all the years, out of all the months, that just happens to add up to 33. The number that all of them are rubbing in your face. Do you know why? Do you know why they love that number? Because it represents a third of the fallen angels that got banished down to the earth. And you know who the leader of them is? Do you know? It's Lucifer. Lucifer, this guy who is in this painting, and it's actually the statue of Lucifer, and that's what the Olympic torches are, and it's what all the superheroes doing their one arm up is. Funny how his name is Kal-El. Kind of sounds like Hal-El, otherwise known as Lucifer. And Thor, who happened to be kicked out of Asgard by the god Odin for being prideful. Kind of sounds like Hal-El, aka Lucifer. I don't know about you, but that kind of resembles an apple to me. Maybe? Like, the forbidden fruit. You remember this guy who supposedly did this, got caught 33 hours after this. Do you know when he was doing that symbol, when talking to Charlie who's doing that symbol, who, by the way, Charlie Kirk is CK. C is the third letter of the alphabet. K is the 11th. 3 times 11 is 33. Well, he said colleges, which is CC, which is the third letter of the alphabet, which is 33, and he happened to do it at the exact same time as doing that symbol. All just coincidence, of course, people. Just like Charlie's Day of Remembrance just happens to be on a numerical number that adds to 33, and I knew it was going to be that before I even added it up. Really? And she just happens to be holding her hand like that, and her sob story. You're buying this? You're buying this crap that they're shoveling you? Sometimes I think all of my work goes for nothing, because The amount of reach I have is nothing compared to the TV. One day, you're going to figure out that they're all lying to you. And you're going to think back to that crazy guy with the ice wall hat and say, maybe he was on to something. Maybe he was the only one with any sort of sizable platform, actually just speaking from his heart and telling us all truth. But of course, all this for entertainment purposes. I'm sure that they just think that's a cool way to hold their hands. Entertainment only.
Hey everyone, we need to get ready because something really big is coming. There is a literal split right now. People are calling it a war about to happen. Am I the only one that feels we are sitting on a powder keg ready to go at any moment? These new details that my team and I are finding out about what really went down with the weeks leading up to the Charlie Kirk tragedy. This is something I've been saying for a long time. There are forces in this country that want to do real harm, and they are acting now, which that's dangerous. And I believe there to be a group or an organization of people that want to keep control of this country. They want to use fear and intimidation, and now that their plans are being foiled, they're acting in violence, for real. So everyone stay safe out there.
Okay, y'all, I don't know if y'all have been listening to what Candace Owens has had to say since the unfortunate assassination of Charlie Kirk, but I'm gonna play this clip for you from Candace Owens in its entirety, and then y'all let me know in the comments what you think. Very interesting and different take on the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Check it out. Let me know in the comments what you think.
Essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill Ackman, because Charlie's rational thoughts about Israel were a no-no. This is not the route that you should be going on. And Charlie was surrounded by his friends, his quote-unquote friends. Bill Ackman was very upset, and threats were made. That is what I am told, and I will tell you that I am very happy for Bill Ackman to dispute this narrative. In fact, he was asked to dispute this narrative. Max Blumenthal went out to him today, and Bill Ackman came back and said, I have receipts I can show you, and he did not provide the receipts. This is not how it went down. I know it went down this way. I'm waiting for one of them to go on record and to say that it didn't go down this way. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu was called and Charlie was invited to Israel. This was an under duress situation, I would say, because I've been in these situations before. When I started asking very sensible questions about Israel, as someone who had dedicated her political life to supporting Israel, many times alongside Charlie Kirk, I was met with the very same pressure. And just like Charlie was being invited to Israel, I was invited somewhere else. And when this arrived to me, it felt like a threat. You know, I got to tell you that. It felt like a threat to go. I would describe this as like, re-education camp. We've seen it. You made an uh-oh, but we can help you. We just need you to come out to Auschwitz and take a picture. Yeah. We just need you to come to the Holocaust Museum and take a photo. We just need you to go to Israel and we can make this better. Charlie said no to Bibi. Okay. Bill Ackman, if you would like to dispute that, I would love to hear what you say happened, because our sources and what we have, it's solid.
Breaking news on the Charlie Kirk case. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. We have learned, and I've said this, you guys know if you watch this channel, I've said this a lot of times, I don't believe that Tyler Robinson acted alone in taking out Charlie Kirk. And evidence is starting to mount that he did not act alone. Evidence is starting to mount that there were other people involved in this. Now, is it guaranteed right now? No, of course not. Of course not. The investigation is early. But what FBI Director Kash Patel said yesterday should chill you to the bone. The FBI director said more than 20 people were in the Discord channel with Robinson, where he apparently, maybe, allegedly, got to say all those words, talked about this assassination attempt before it was done, before he did it, and then after he did it. If that's the case, that's a lot of people involved. And then is there a network of people who supplied him, helped him get away, did these things, motivated him, all these things that had to happen? Is this really a lone wolf? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't think so. I want you to watch this and let me know what you think in the comments.
Donald Trump just said on camera that late night comedians are not allowed to criticize him. And please, to all of the Republicans who claim to love free speech, listen to this and tell me if you're okay with it.
Look, that's something that should be talked about for licensing too. When you have a network and you have evening shows and all they do is hit Trump, that's all they do. If you go back, I guess they haven't had a conservative on in years or something, somebody said. But when you go back and you take a look, all they do is hit Trump. They're licensed. They're not allowed to do that. They're an arm of the Democrat Party. Thank you, everybody.
What the hell is this guy talking about? They're not allowed to do that. Yes, they are. It's called the First Amendment. I know that Donald Trump has never read the entire Constitution, but you'd think that he made it to at least that one. It's the First Amendment. The MAGA fans and Donald Trump told us that they care about free speech. They're the free speech warriors. But now Donald Trump is saying, if you criticize me, I will come after you. That's what dictators do. Well, Rolling Stone is now confirming what we all know happened with Jimmy Kimmel's show being canceled by the Trump administration. According to their new reporting, quote, in the hours leading up to the decision to pull Jimmy Kimmel, two sources familiar with the matter say senior executives at ABC, its owner Disney, and affiliates convened emergency meetings to figure out how to minimize the damage. Multiple executives felt that Kimmel had not actually said anything over the line, but the threat of Donald Trump and his retaliation loomed. And when you actually listen to Jimmy Kimmel's comments, which I posted on my page, you can see that they are very mild. He's not even making fun of Charlie Kirk. He's making fun of Donald Trump. These executives know that Jimmy Kimmel did not say anything outrageous, yet they are bending the knee to Donald Trump because they're scared of him. They're scared of retaliation or having licenses pulled. Two things are clear from this story. Number one, these big companies are not going to protect us. Independent media is more important than ever. But number two, Donald Trump is coming for our rights. It's not a hypothetical. It's not something that might happen in the future. It's happening right now before our very eyes.
And yes, and dictatorship, autocracy is in the doorstep of the United States. We are getting there. One of the reasons why the case of Jimmy Kimmel and this case of Kurt are related is because they are planning, they are looking for a way to move the dictatorship forward. In dictatorship, the liberty of express, the liberty of press get removed completely. And this liberty of express yourself, this liberty of press to talk, the First Amendment, it gets removed exactly in the way they did to Jimmy Kimmel. Sometimes the dictators, I just saying because I just don't know if you know, but I'm from Venezuela, and Venezuela was a democracy, was the longest democracy in South America, and got taken over by dictatorship. One of the things that they fight, or they fight against the press, the government, is what they send their minions, They just do the MAGA minions. In that case, it was the Chavez minions. They send the minions to close the TV stations at that time. In this case, they trying to make MAGA really mad about the death of Kurt, and that way they can send these people to the news buildings for they can attack the press. In this case, the Jimmy Kimmel was removed because they talked with the owners of the company, and the companies, they all are aware that this man, what he want to dictate, what he want to impose is this dictatorship. So they know that somehow they're gonna have to submit to whatever dictates say. So they went a step ahead and they decided to remove Jimmy Kimmel even when he didn't do anything. It wasn't like I hear to the message that he did, and I'm gonna see if I can include it in this video what he really say, that they got him suspended, and it's not anything special. It's just a simple thing. He sometimes he went even harder with the things that he say, but they just want to impose the dictatorship. They want to impose the authoritarian system, and that's why they're just pulling out all these text messages that are completely false. They're just doing all these things because they want people somehow to reveal them against the government, for they can impose these things. And we black people, we are doing so good. Keep staying at home, keep chilling, preserve your peace. It doesn't matter what is happening, just preserve your peace, because they are just waiting for a way for they can start a fight with everybody else, and they can just start they can start a fight, they can start a war, like internal war in the country. So in the way that you are doing, just chilling, just waiting, you are just the perfect way to do things. So stay towards the end because it gets really interesting.
So Disney is learning in real time about the dangers of biting the hands that feed you. Because in the wake of Disney canceling Jimmy Kimmel Live due to comments, mild comments at that he made in regards to the Charlie Kirk shooting, the far right's reaction to it, and how Donnie doesn't even really seem to care about Charlie Kirk, millions, and I mean millions of people have canceled their Disney Plus, their Hulu subscription, their ESPN subscription. People are canceling their trips to Disney World and Disneyland. They're canceling their Disney cruises. And I, for one, am shocked at the lack of foresight that these executives, that Bob Iger had in this situation. Because what did you think was going to happen when they chose to side with one of the most evil administrations and most unpopular presidents in the history of America and not do right by Jimmy Kimmel? What did they think was going to happen? Did Bob Iger, because I guarantee he's the one that made the decision, did he really think that people would just get mad for a little bit and then move on? No. People are legitimately angry right now at the way this administration is moving. And for these people to see you, Disney, the company that produced a show called Andor, which is a Star Wars show about the dangers of fascism and the importance of fighting back, to see that company capitulate to Donald Trump over a thinly veiled threat from the head of the SEC is crazy. Now, full disclosure, I am a huge stan for Marvel Studios. I have been watching these movies since I was in high school, and I've seen every single one of them multiple times. But I will also be boycotting Disney and everything they fucking own until they put that man back on the air. Because Jimmy Kimmel didn't do anything wrong, number one. And two, and more importantly, I believe that Disney has an obligation to stand up for what's right, because they are a massive company. And for a massive company like Disney to serve up free speech on a platter to this evil-ass administration is a very dangerous precedent to set, and it only enables them lunatics in the White House right now.
The blue and white state assassinated Charlie Kirk, and this video proves it. And for all of you that go, oh, well, they wouldn't do that. Well, first and foremost, here's a quick Wikipedia page that lists all of their assassination dating back to the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and so on. So they are not above doing that to people, right? Now, the official narrative, it is some leftist, right? Bullshit. The left and the right were starting to unite and realize that we have one common goal, which is we want to be governed in America by American politicians that serve American interests, not the interests of the blue and white state. Charlie Kirk had been a long-time advocate of this country, but refused a $150 million bribe from their prime minister to keep pushing out their pro stance. Leftists have not liked this man for years, and they didn't try something like this. The moment he turned against them, he loses his life?
Candace Owens might as well be the director of the FBI, because she's doing more work than Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. She talked to Lance Twiggs' family, and this is what they said. Let's watch it.
The weekend, obviously, I was in a very afraid state. I was not prepared to even accept that Charlie Kirk was not on this earth. And I realized that they're saying to me, like, we want to speak with you, and there's more than one family member that's reached out because we trust you and we don't trust the media. It sounds to me a very good family. They're absolutely horrified by what has happened. They are similarly perplexed. They're not being more out there about the person he's living with, especially because they told Hentons exclusively is that the house that Tyler Robinson was living in with Lance is owned by them. Tyler Robinson is paying rent to them. They know Lance, obviously, and I'm going to cushion this with allegedly. It isn't allegedly that this is his family members telling me these details, but it is definitely allegedly what they say. We can hear both sides. I'm going to pull this up because I took notes regarding Lance. I want to know everything.
So, as you guys heard it, we have Lance Twiggs' parents speaking, giving them details on who he is, where they live. According to Lance Twiggs' parents, Lance and Tyler live in one of their properties. So listen, whatever the FBI is telling us versus what the family is saying is different at this point.
We have major news right now. According to NBC News, military leaders are now considering a recruiting campaign centered around Charlie Kirk with the possible slogan, "Charlie has awakened a new generation of warriors." And there's even talk about using campus chapters on college campuses of Turning Point USA, the far-right organization founded by Kirk, to help with military recruitment. This effort, according to NBC News, is being led by Anthony Tata, who serves as the Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness. And they're considering, which is historic, they would use chapters of Kirk's political organization, turn them into military recruitment centers. Now, no final decision has been made, and this rollout will likely happen in the next several weeks if this is what they go through. But you may now start seeing, essentially, banners and recruitment emails saying that Charlie has awakened a generation of warriors. Sign up to join the United States military. I'm serious. Spread the word so more people know. Do a full breakdown on my Substack, linked in bio. Subscribe for free. And as always, follow along for all the news you need to know about.
Okay, basically, Ben Shapiro, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk, 4 very influential political activists. A couple years ago, Candace Owens was fired from the Daily Wire because she started to kind of question Israel, and, well, Ben Shapiro is Jewish. And then Tucker Carlson kind of started to question Israel a little bit. So then there was kind of this divide of like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson versus like Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro. Very strong right-wing conservatives, but kind of didn't see Israel the same way. And leading up to Charlie Kirk's death, he started to kind of not question, but quite literally ask questions that appeared that maybe he was kind of starting to follow the same trajectory as Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. He's still very pro-Israel, but pro the people of Israel, and he wasn't accusing anybody of anything, but allegedly there was a meeting in the Hamptons where all these different people kind of came and met with Charlie and were threatening to pull out like donor funding for Turning Point USA if he didn't maintain his pro-Israel position. Again, this is allegedly. Candace Owens says that she has witness confirmation that there was a lot of pressure being put on Charlie, that Bibi Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, had invited him to come to Israel and kind of wanted to have a meeting with him to basically be like, you need to do what we want you to do. We want you to go out and continue to be pro-Israel and not question us. Apparently that Hamptons meeting was just very heated thing, and, you know, we're going to remove funding if you have... This is, again, allegedly. Tucker Carlson was supposed to be speaking at AmFest, which, again, he kind of is, like, more skeptical of some things regarding Israel. And Tucker Carlson was supposed to speak at America Fest, which is this big Turning Point USA conference in December. And Candace is basically saying that Bibi Netanyahu, other players involved, didn't want Tucker Carlson to be at AmFest because they know the influence that Turning Point USA has, didn't want to have these people come and discuss, you know, the more controversial things of Israel. And yeah, that's basically the gist.
So we all know the economy isn't doing that well, and so does Donald Trump, and so does Fox News. And what does Donald Trump decide to do? Accuse Fox News of having bad polls.
I have numbers that
like nobody's ever seen before.
When do you think that people are going to feel that? Because we do see polling that doesn't poll well in the economy. The recent Fox polling said 52% say the economy is worse under this administration. You've got unemployment at the highest rate in 4 years. Groceries made a big jump in the last term. So how is that? You're looking forward with these plans that you just talked about. When will people feel that, Mr.
Well,
Trump?
when the factories start opening. I mean, right now we're building them. And, Fox polling, I have to tell you, I've told you before, it's the worst polling I've ever had. It's always, during the election, they had me winning by a little bit, not by a massive amount. And Fox polling, I've told Rupert Murdoch, go get yourself a new pollster because he stinks. And this is for years now. But I will say that we have all of these things are being built.
Did you hear what he just said? Fox polling. And he actually goes one step further with this ridiculousness and says we won't see any results until next year.
We have all of these things are being built. Car companies are moving back. We lost 50%, 54% of we were the automobile capital of the world.
Really?
And all of a sudden it got robbed by China, Japan, Germany, all these countries. Those companies, they're all coming back now to the United States. They're building car companies and factories all over. They're coming back from Mexico and Canada. We lost a lot to Mexico. We lost a lot to Canada. They're all coming back because of the tariffs. Without the tariffs, a different story, but they're coming back because of the tariffs. And you're going to see that kick in probably in a year or so.
So Fox just gave Donald Trump some news he doesn't like. In the spirit of what he's already been doing, I guess we can expect him to pull Fox's license as well, right? Because they're not telling him what he wants to hear. It's always get Trump over there on Fox News, isn't it? Hey, Jesse, tell Trump.
Candace, babe, it's giving side chick because these tributes to Charlie Kirk are getting real personal. Now, Candace Owens recently had posted this IG story as her tribute or a farewell tribute to her good friend Charlie Kirk. Now, it's understandable that they were very close, and she has a lot of cuts and snippets of, their careers, like growing together. But I'm not going to sit here and try to normalize this, but I do feel bad for her because she lost her friend. That's about it. Now, after she had posted this IG story, people started taking to the comments like, girl, it's giving side chick. Now, may his soul rest in peace. I'm talking about Rich Homie Quan. Do you guys remember when Rich Homie Quan had passed away and a bunch of women had came out of the woodwork saying that they had a relationship with him and they missed him and he was like their bestie? That's what this is giving. Like, this is more of a heartfelt tribute from a side piece than we actually saw from his wife. So a lot of people had flooded her comments like, girl, was you the side chick? Because it's very much giving side chick. While others are saying, this was just her friend and she loved him dearly. Sure, friend. Now, as I already predicted to you guys when we were live streaming last night, I stated that Candace Owens was going to go down the Alex Jones pipeline. She was going to take Charlie Kirk's death and launch a full-blown Alex Jones-esque conspiracy theory behind it. And she's already starting with Nick Fuentes. So 5 days prior, Nick Fuentes, or however you pronounce his name, had actually came after Candace Owens, and in a statement on his live stream on Rumble, he had said that Candace Owens is no different than somebody by the name of Irana Zurika. I think she was the woman who was killed on a train or a bus. Nick Fuentes also stated that if he saw Candace Owens walking down the street, he'd walk the other way simply because she was black. Now, Candace had quote tweeted these statements and his sentiment about her from Rumble, and she said just 24 hours later, he would be preaching to his audience about the gospel of Jesus Christ. And stop, Ken. In the wake of Charlie's death. So she's basically stating that Nick Fuentes did like this 180, right? Or 360, however you say it. I think he did a 180 where he was bashing her and saying that he wouldn't even help her if he saw her walking down the street if she were assaulted, essentially. I think that's what he's saying. And she's saying, now look at him preaching the teachings of Jesus Christ. Now, Candace also stated on her Twitter that she actually had to sit down and talk with a priest because she was so angry. And she honestly doesn't know where the anger is stemmed from. That's why I think she's going to go down this conspiracy theory pipeline. She had also posted about different videos and screen images from the day of Charlie Kirk's killing, and she said, was this person investigated? What about that person? Was that person even looked at? And now she's also laying her conspiracy theories on the FBI and stating that they did not launch a full proper investigation. Now, if Candace Owens posts anything else in regards to her full launch of conspiracy theory investigation into Charlie Kirk's death pops up, I'm gonna keep you guys posted. And pray for her, y'all, because apparently she done lost her best eater.
And yes, the old Candace Owens she's the one that is doing the fight for him. But it surprised me because he was the one to say the black women don't have brains, the black women don't have enough brain to do anything. And surprisingly, she's the one that is doing her own investigation about his death. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And the things that she's saying about his death, it completely makes sense. But this is the thing. This is what the government wants. This is what the T wants. They want MAGA to be furious and go against people and start all these things. Start a revolution, start a war against liberal. They're gonna go like MAGA against liberals. That's their next step, for they can just follow the agenda. And this is the thing, when you have dictatorships, they ruin the economy. That's the first step. This definitely had the economy in shambles, and now the next step is to pursue the press or eliminate the press, the free press, because it becomes like TV is all propaganda. And this case of Kurt, that he wants people to be on the streets for he can impose some kind of martial law or do something for people cannot move out their houses. So thank you so much for staying towards the end of this video. Please don't forget giving a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel to grow, and it helps other people to find my content and my video. Help us to support liberal media, subscribing to my channel. And also, please, if you feel like you want to just give me some money for a coffee, I would so highly appreciate if you can just give me anything for coffee. The editing of this video, it takes a long time, and coffee keep me going. And I like a kid in the candy store. Every time that I receive money for coffee, it gets me so excited. So thank you so much, you guys. Take care. Thank you. Bye bye.